Hi everybody, this is Kevin with Garrison Dental. We're going to take a look at placing the new Strata-G sectional matrix system today. We'll start out by picking a band that most closely approximates the gingival occlusal height of the tooth, and then I'm going to go ahead and place the second one on the mesial side without doing anything. You can see how nicely that shape conforms to the natural shape of the tooth. We're going to wedge from the widest embrasure so that we've got the widest part of the wedge to seal off the gingival margin of the band. And I'm going to very aggressively hold a finger on top of that band and prevent it from moving because it will push through. There are two sizes of separator rings that we're going to use primarily, the blue and the orange. Blues being the shorter one that goes on the mesial side of the tooth, and then the orange, a little bit taller, that you can place on the distal. The first thing I'm going to do here is place them in what I would call a standard placement, being that I'm going to grip the ring with the loop of the ring towards the handle of the forceps, and I'm going to grip it in the top notch. And here I'm going to do my little swooping in action and then rotate it down and seat it. And I'm going to do exactly the same thing for the orange ring over top, except I'm going to come from and back a little bit and come into the band and down. I want to show you an alternative ring placement. I'm going to take off the orange ring. I'm going to drop this ring down to the lower notch, and I'm going to flip it around like this. And there may be cases where you find this to be advantageous. It does clear out for you the working space quite nicely, gives you a little bit more room to work without having any of the rings in the way of what you're trying to do. To continue on with our placement demonstration, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm switching what matrix band I'm using. I'm not using one of the dead soft Strata-G bands, but I'm using one of the firm bands that comes in the Strata-G kits. That's going to help me maintain the shape as the band comes around this corner. One of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to cheat the band a little bit towards that wide side. I'm not placing it flat across like I normally would. I'm tilting the buccal corner up a little bit because of the height of the cusp that we have to recreate over here. I'm going to wedge it from that wide side. I want to support that band and seal as far out along the edge of that band as I can with the wedge. So I'm going to put a finger on there, wedge it from that side. This is where our green ring, our wide prep ring, comes into play. And of course, wide prep rings are exclusive to Garrison Dental. You can see here the difference in the tip size. With that wider pad, it really helps to bridge when you've got a situation like this and allow you to recreate that side of the tooth. Placement of this ring is the same as our other rings. We're going to grab it up in that first slot, bring it down into the band, and release it. That's good. And I still have my seal all along the bottom. That's looking fantastic. The wide prep ring from Garrison, boy, it's not something you use every day, but it is really helpful when you run into these scenarios.